Hi there, spinning friends. We are going to talk today about twist. Twist is either your friend or it is your foe. For one of my viewers, it has been her foe, and so I wanted to take the opportunity to talk to you guys about twist. Specifically, twist in singles for today. However, at a later time, we will definitely talk about ply twist. I've talked a little bit about ply twist before, but we will get into that in more depth at a later time. All right, so this fiber is actually pretty good because there's a lot of variation in the color. So as you can see right here, I've got some excellent spiraling going on, and it shows you the twist. This level of twist is not super high. I do not have a twist twist per inch gauge with me. So what I'm going to do is talk to you guys about too much twist and not enough twist. So let's jump into it. All right, guys, too much twist, not enough twist. Here we go. This twist, if I let it ply back on itself, you can see that, I don't know, can you see? If I pull out some from my bobbin and I let it ply back on itself, it plies back in several spots, and that's totally normal. That just means this spot right here and this spot and this spot and this spot and this spot are a little thinner than the areas around it. That's totally normal. I am not a machine. I am a human. I'm going to have slight variations on thicker or thinner in my yarn, and so are you, because you're human too. At least I hope you're human too. All right, so when you are spinning and you're just happily drafting along like this, or however you draft, you are inserting twist, whether you're doing that with a spindle or with a wheel. I'm currently doing it with a wheel just so I can keep both of my hands free to be able to show you guys what I want to show you. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop my feet. Okay, so my feet are stopped, and I'm going to draft a couple times. Actually, I'm going to draft quite a lot because I was talking without actually drafting. All right, so when I talk to you guys about support spinning, I often say spin or draft just past the point where the yarn drifts apart, okay? And then give your spindle a quick extra flick to get the twist exactly right. It takes 2 seconds maybe to insert a quick little burst of twist, and then your twist lock is there and everything is good and as it should be. You can see that when I relax this, it's really floofy and it's actually barely hanging on. So if I pull on this, I'm not untwisting. I am literally just pulling one side to the other. You should be able to see this fiber, because it is spiraling, is drifting apart. You can see those spirals moving. This is not enough twist, okay? So when you test your yarn and it drifts apart, not enough twist. All right, so all I did was treadle 3 times, okay? So my big wheel went around 3 times. Now, if I pull this, it is no longer, like, I'm pulling quite hard. You guys can't hear it, but you can almost hear the ping of this fiber. Okay, so I'm pulling quite hard. It is not coming apart. All right. This twist is what you're looking for. You want to be able to test your fibers when you're spinning, especially when you're new, whether it's on a wheel or on a spindle. Just give it a quick baby tug. And when I say tug, I mean like put pressure on it. Don't like try to rip it, but put pressure on it, and your fingernails, mine are painted, but your fingernails or, your skin should turn white or red should show up. It should not come apart anymore, okay? It should be able to withstand a slight tug of pressure on your single. That tells you that you have sufficient twist. Now, if you have a nice, multicolored yarn like this, you can see what your twist should look like, because this fiber is oh so obligingly giving me 2 different colors in the same single to look at and study and say, okay, I want all my yarn to look sort of like this, because on the tug test, it doesn't come apart. And when I give it a ply back, it's still nice and soft, and it still comes apart nice and easy. If I let this ply back happen, your finished yarn is going to look something like this. And if you're okay with that, then you have sufficient twist and you can just continue on. Now, if you get way too much twist, I'm gonna let my feet go 10 times. Okay. And I'm actually gonna pull back out a little bit. So actually, no, I'm not. Let's get this wound on. Look at this twist right here. It is crazy more tight. More tight? Is that even English? It is much more tight than it was before. Okay, you can see the white and the sort of green spiraling much closer together. And that is telling you that your actual twist per inch is much, much higher. I have a yarn gauge here. This is from Hip Strings. And it shows you a 1/2 inch. I don't know if this is better. It shows you a 1/2 inch worth of space for twisting. There are quite a few twists per inch there, and way more than you actually want it to be. We want it to be back to where it was before. So let's see if I rejoin my yarn to my fiber, which so kindly jumped. And I just draft backwards a little bit. We can see here, my twist is lessening, okay? It's still more twist than I want, but it is coming down. So I'm gonna keep drafting off screen. All right, now our twist is way closer to where it was before. Okay, you see this? How it's way more open. And if I do the tug test, this back end piece is coming apart because all the twist was up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it out straight because it's a join and give it a little extra twist. Just 2 treadles. And now it's not coming apart, okay? And we are back in business. Twist, especially on a wheel, is really easy to allow it to get ahead of you because your feet very often move much faster than your hands. Sometimes your spindle is much faster than your hands. When you are spinning on a spindle, it is sort of the exact same scenario. If it goes faster than you can draft, you need to either set the spindle down and park it and get rid of some of that twist. So draft farther along into your fiber supply and even out the twist. Or consider how you're flicking your spindle. If you're thigh rolling a spindle, you may be doing that a little more vigorously than you need to. Maybe consider actually flicking the spindle instead of thigh rolling it, because a flick is always going to be less fast than a thigh roll. Trying to get to a point where we have nice stripy parts again. High contrast stripy parts. All right, so this is probably going to be the stripiest part we're going to get right now. and it's not going to be terribly stripy. But again, we're going to look and see there are definite stripes in this yarn, and they're pretty open stripes. They're not crazy closed up together stripes, because we want to keep our twist in our singles pretty low. If you want a lovely fluffy yarn, you want pretty low, and in my opinion, you want a pretty low twist single, hence also why I spin on lower ratios for my wheel with my singles, because I want my wheel to go slower. I want my yarns to be more open and fluffy and soft and squishy. One of my viewers sent me a message saying she has not been able to yet spin a yarn that is soft to the touch. And this twist problem is the culprit. It's the reason why she's having trouble. Whether you're spinning on a spindle or on a wheel, if you get too much twist in your single, okay, your single, when you do a plyback test and your plyback doesn't open up like this and it stays pretty hard, okay, let's see. I'm gonna really try to get a lot of twist in this. My feet are going super fast and I am not drafting. I am really trying to like crazy over twist this little section. All right, let's stop. Now I want this plyback. Do you see the difference? My yarn hasn't changed diameters, okay? I didn't draft any of this new and fresh, but you guys have seen how much twist I inserted into this yarn right here. This is not going to be a soft, squishy, light and fluffy sort of yarn. This is going to be a harder wearing yarn. It's going to be great for like hiking socks. It's not going to be something super soft and squishy, okay? You want all these pigtails, this is a lot for a small section of plyback. And there's one even further up closer to the wheel. So there's, 5, it looks like we're trying to work on 6 pigtails, all within an 18-inch space between my hand and the wheel. Okay, this is a lot of twist. We don't want this. So again, when this happens, spinning either on a spindle or on a wheel, you want to get rid of as much as of that twist as you can, okay? This is a much softer plyback. You want your plybacks to look soft. If they don't look soft, your yarn is not going to be soft, because once you take this and let's call it a 2-ply. See how this is nice and open and airy and fluffy looking? That's because there's not too much twist in this yarn. All right, now let me put a whole bunch of twist into it again. Now that I just took it all out, I'm gonna put it right back in. We're twisting and we're twisting and we're twisting. Let's see, do we have enough? Almost. A couple more times. Twisting, twisting, twisting. All right, here we go. You remember that other plyback? Now let's look at this one. This one is way tighter, and I probably still did not put enough twist in this to make it crazy. All right, but this looks vastly different from the other one. All right, this yarn is not going to be as soft to the touch. Also, if you do a plyback like this and it is harder, you have to pluck at your plyback to make it come out, you probably have too much twist. If you are spinning and you're having trouble with tons and tons and tons of breaks, like the yarn just keeps slipping away from you, whether your spindle is dropping on the floor or you're at your wheel and you're just having breaks and it's just breaking all to pieces and it's not snapping, it's just drifting apart. That's because you don't have enough twist. This one's going to be hard for me to show you guys because I don't generally have this problem. I'm trying to make my hands go really fast and my feet go super, 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 super slow. I've actually stopped my feet because that's going to be better. All right, this barely plies back. This does not have enough twist in it. If your singles end up looking like this, especially like on a support spindle, you're not giving your fiber enough twist. This is under the Sara stress test. Look, I just pulled it straight apart. It's going to be easy as pie to join back together because these two ends are super, super fluffy because they hardly have any twist in them. So introducing some additional twist and drafting these two together, just like they were never separated. And now we are back together and everything is good. I let the twist enter to these fingers. So all this right here that was underspun is now spun appropriately. This looks nice and soft. It is nice and soft. This is going to make a good 2-ply yarn. This is not going to make a good 3-ply, or I'm sorry, chain ply yarn. A chain ply yarn is going to need additional twist, okay? Chain plying takes more twist out of the singles than a 2-ply does. So it needs more twist to help give it more structure to be able to stick together better. So if you're doing a chain ply yarn, you want to have more twist in your singles. Let me show you a good twist for a chain ply. All right, this is good twist for 2-ply or chain ply, really. This passes the drift apart stress test. It is not coming apart, and I'm gripping really hard and it's not coming apart. All right. If you were to pretend to chain ply this by taking, you want to pretend, okay, FYI, in case you guys ever want to see if you have enough twist for your chain ply and you want to see what your yarn is going to look like once it's done, take your yarn, okay, and fold it in half one way. So you have a loop around one finger and grip 2 ends in the other finger. Then take this back finger and put it up front. And now you have 3 pieces, okay, that you can allow to twist back on itself. And you know that you're going to put plenty of ply twist into your yarn because you want your yarn to look like this, right? The singles hug each other really, really tightly. They want to be best friends. This is a very, very soft, very squishy. Oh my gosh, it would be so awesome if you did like a cowl out of this because it would be so soft and snugly warm up against your neck because of how floofy the yarn is, because you did not overspin the single and you gave it plenty of ply twist. All this stuff you will learn more and more as you do it. Okay, this is not an immediate sort of thing. This is trial and error. It's lots and lots of trial and error. Okay, I've been spinning since 2013. That's a long time for me. So it's a long time to have sacrificial fiber, have fiber that I played with that I didn't love, have fiber that I tried to learn on. If you're just learning and you are spinning superwash merino, if you are spinning merino, any of the silk, those are slippery fibers. They are not the best for learning on, okay? You want to get something with a little more tooth in it, something that's a little grippier, not long wools. I wouldn't recommend those because those have very long staple lengths, but something like a Shetland or a softer Corriedale. I feel like Polworth is a really good option for learning how to spin and to learn how much twist is enough twist and how much twist is not enough. Take a single braid of yarn and split it into 4 different pieces. Get 4 1-ounce pieces and spin them all with varying degrees of twist to figure out which one you like best. Here is more Barber Polly stripey goodness, okay? This is a really good amount of twist. This amount of twist is huge. It looks huge, but when you pull it down and ply it harder, it forms those fluffy bumps that everybody wants their yarn to look like and nobody can ever achieve. That's because we're not putting enough ply twist in our yarn and we're putting too much twist in our singles. So if you want super floofy, fluffy, bouncy 2-ply yarns, you do not want an extreme amount of twist in your yarns. Your singles should look like this. All right, my friends, that is all that I have for you today. Remember, practice, practice, practice. 10 years is a long time to be spinning. I've done this for a long time. So once you've been spinning for 10 years, you will be twice as awesome as I am. Just keep practicing. Make sure that you are checking, do the tug test to make sure you have enough twist, and make sure you're doing ply back tests to make sure that you don't have too much twist. Also, feel free to let me know if you guys would like me to see your yarns. I would love to see your yarns that you're making. You can always hit me with an @ on Instagram. I am Mrs. Flick01 there. Also, you can feel free to send me pictures of your beautiful yarns on Ravelry. I am Mrs. Flick there. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, hit the like button for me. If you aren't already, please subscribe. And if you have subscribed, thank you very much. And possibly consider taking it one step further. We now have channel memberships available. That is all that I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, happy spinning, guys.